Hey man, this is a continuation of the Vlad interviews. This one is specifically about Tupac. So I just want to say to the fans right now, I hope y'all just enjoy the interview, man. Don't take none of my words out of context, because I got major love for Pac, his people, everything. So with that said, man, I hope y'all enjoy the interview, and may the brother rest in peace, man. Gone.
At one point, the Tupac situation happened, and Tupac got killed in Vegas.
Right.
Now, there's a lot of different stories behind what happened, but the one name that would always pop back up is Orlando.
Right. That was my best friend, actually.
Orlando Anderson?
Orlando Anderson. His name is Baby Lane from
Baby
Southside
Lane.
Compton Crib. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you know about that situation?
Basically, the day after the incident happened, when he came from Las Vegas, I guess he was questioned by the police and all this, because, they jumped him. Tupac helped, but Suge's homies jumped him.
Right. Suge was involved in it also.
Suge was involved in it also. So what happened was, prior to them going to Las Vegas for the Mike Tyson fight, I think the homie Lane and some other homies, they seen somebody that was on death row at the time inside the mall in Lakewood. And I think they rushed him, beat him up, took his death row chain or whatever.
Was there a reason behind this, or?
No, because like Suge and them, they come from the mob. They from Mob Pyru. Orlando and them from Southside Compton Crips. So Pyrus and Crips already don't get along, but I think the mob in the South was already feuding anyway. I think they was already beefing on the street. And the fact that anybody representing death row basically to any homies is like, you from over there, or you representing you representing their thing, so you know what I mean? So I think it was something initially like that. And I guess when they ended up rushing the dude, they took the little death row chain. And from what I heard was the homie Lane, I heard he had the chain on walking through the MGM after the fight. And he was already a reputable cat from the street, so I'm sure Suge knew who he was.
Okay.
Because his uncle, you know what I'm saying, his uncle named Keefy D, he was like a G from Compton. Suge probably went to school with him back when they was little, you know what I mean? And plus, he had a lot of money. So I think when they seen him walking through the MGM that day, somebody must have been like, oh, must have been some words going back and forth, and that's when you seen on camera with all the dudes like rushing him, stumping him up.
So Orlando actually was wearing the MGM chain?
Was
wearing the death row chain?
I think so.
And walking around the casino.
If I can remember correctly, I think he was.
Wow. It's pretty bold.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like,
you
say it's bold, but, the mentality of where we come from and the reputations that we got, we don't care. Like, it's
right.
Like, we ain't thinking about, if somebody sees us, because we know if somebody, the way we feel invincible. You know what I'm saying? Back in those days anyway, because nobody would dare in their right mind put their hands on us without realizing the consequences.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But he got hands and feet put on him.
Yeah, by a bunch of people, though.
By a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And, it showed Suge in the footage,
Right.
And so forth. And Tupac was involved in it.
Pac came and got a couple kicks in.
Was Pac the one that really approached him first?
I doubt it. I don't see it. Cause I know he'd have probably served Pac. You know what I mean? I think it was them big old dudes. And Pac was like, cause the homie, like, man, we was in juvenile hall together. We've been through some things, so
okay.
Ain't no anybody, especially somebody our size.
Right.
You got to be a hell of a dude. Like,
and I heard that Baby Lane was active. I heard that he had police were already investigating him for a whole bunch of shit.
Absolutely.
So this was a very known gang member from Compton.
Like I said, like, we from a generation where Compton really in the 90s is on fire due to the generation we come from, because we the ones who kind of like did all the shit out there. You know what I'm saying? So people know what's up.
Okay. So Baby Lane gets jumped.
Mm-hmm.
Was it just him or him and his homie?
It was just him at the time.
Just him.
Yeah, I think everybody else, it was after the fight. Everybody else was probably moving and shaking, trying to make something happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he just happened to be right there. They caught him slipping,
Yeah.
Because if he wasn't, best believe it would have been like a bigger fight than that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I was thinking like, damn, like I was so hurt when I seen that. Cause I was like, I know I'd have been right there with him. You know what I'm saying? But I had just left Vegas like a week before that. You know what I mean? And I wasn't the type to go to, fights and all that anyway. So, but I was just like, I wish I was there. Like, that's how I felt at the time.
He talked to you after that? After the incident?
Yeah, he came to my house the next day.
Was he beat up?
Nah, they didn't really hurt him, man. Like, he covered his face. They was like hitting him in the ribs and all that. Like, he covered his face on the ground, so he wasn't hurt or nothing.
Okay.
He wasn't hurt or beat or nothing. Like, I think sometimes, like, people don't know, like, when you gonna rush somebody, you can't do it. If you're gonna beat up one person with multiple people, it really only take 2 dudes to do that, to really hurt a person. Like, when you got 5 dudes trying to hit one person, you ain't gonna really do nothing.
Right.
So I think that was the situation.
Do you think the truth will ever come out about Tupac's murder?
Well, supposedly, I heard that his uncle was given immunity to tell the true story.
Whose uncle?
Orlando's uncle.
Orlando's uncle.
Keefe, today what we're going to do, we're just going to go over with a fine-tooth comb the Las Vegas incident, 'cause we're going to draft up our report as regarding that specific thing. And then we're going to cover a few other things that we do have to emphasize to you that everything in this report has to be right on, because if down the road it's determined that some of these details are incorrect, then everything's off the table. So everything in this report cannot be like that report.
Hey, I want to say this though too. I feel like I said that day, don't bullshit me, and I won't bullshit y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Lane starts blasting. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he look at me.
Okay.
Why are you looking right at him?
Fucking known each other since we were 7, 8 years old.
When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting shot. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
In
of
the
the
back
line.
seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their
Jumping
car?
in. I seen a bullet going Suge's head. I thought he was dead.
So Orlando shot across Dre?
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window, popped.
Who was it?
They would drove on my side. I would have popped them. You know what I'm saying? But they was on the other side.
Right.
So then he goes back home to Compton.
Right.
But then at one point he gets killed.
Yeah, man, he got killed due to a to a situation. I was actually fighting for my life. This one I was facing, going back and forth to court. I was already in jail. I was in the Crip module in Linwood, but yeah, he supposedly it was a dude who owed him some money. And as he's riding through Compton, I guess he was going back to where his grandmother stayed, and as they was riding, they was on a laundry. They was coming by Compton High School, and from what I heard, they seen a dude over there at the car wash. So from what I heard, they pulled up, and he got out and confronted the dude. And once it started kind of getting heated, guns started getting pulled or whatever.
So this had nothing to do with the Tupac thing.
Had nothing to do with Tupac.
Had nothing to do with death row. Because when you heard about it, the first thing you thought
Everybody,
was...
yeah, of course everybody gonna associate it with that. But nah,
Okay.
none of these people had nothing to do. They was other Crips. You know what I'm saying? These was other Compton
Okay.
Crips, yeah.
But I did hear that after Tupac got killed, that a war broke out in Compton.
Of course. Baby Lane got shot up real bad. He got shot all in his kneecap with AK-47s. He was wheelchair bound for maybe like a year or more. He was in a wheelchair. He had to learn how to walk again and everything.
Wow. So, but a full-blown war broke out.
Yeah.
How
Because
many
I
people
told you it was already, the beef was going on before that.
Right, but this right here...
But this right here kind of sparked it up because, Suge got money. They over there playing with street money. So, yeah, it sparked up.
How many people got killed, do you think, right after that? If you were to guess.
If I were to guess, I'm going to say conservatively, maybe 7 people.
From both sides?
Yeah.
Altogether. Okay.
And that's just from what I can remember. And I'm sure it probably was people that I don't even know. But from the people that I know, yeah, I think it was like 7 people.
Well, what can you tell, can you share about the conversation you had with Baby Lane over that?
I mean, that's my homeboy, man. Like I said, I wish I was there actually when that whole incident happened, because I felt that it could have been me. You know what I'm saying? Because like me and Lane, we've been best friends since we was like 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like me and his hood, like he from Southside Compton Crip. I'm from Nutty Block Compton Crip, and we hooked up with 3 hoods. We was called Nutty South Atlantic, Nutty Block, Southside, and Atlantic Drive. So our hood's been tight since we've been kids. And when I seen that incident happen, I was just like, it pissed me off. Like, you know what I mean? It made me want to go and try to find somebody and do something to him. And this is just, you know, looking back on the way I felt at that time, but I can't really tell you what ensued, because I would never sell my homie out. But I know that, you know, they did accuse him for killing Tupac.
Well, I just showed you the special that Noisy did.
Yeah,
where,
with Blondie.
Right. What he said that this is the area right here where the guys.
Because you know the feds came. The feds came after Pac died.
Once Orlando and them got back to Compton, did you guys round everybody up?
No, not at first, okay, because it takes a while to build up a case where you can do search warrants. But what happened was that all the players that were from Compton came back to Compton. And we were told that, hey, you know, Southside was responsible for the shooting of Tupac, so it's coming back to Compton. And what that meant to us, a war was about to start. And sure enough, like 2 days later, it started.
Okay. Now, how many people were killed during this war?
I think in the next 10 days, we had 3 people murdered and I want to say 11 shootings.
12 shootings, yeah.
Between Southside Crips and the mob Piru and Looters Park.
Okay, so just a full-blown war.
Full-blown war.
They did a sweep, took everybody to jail, and tried to pin all these cases on them, but they didn't stick.
So they actually tried to pin the murder.
Absolutely.
On Orlando.
Yeah, they did.
But they had no evidence.
I had no evidence.
They dropped it.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think those cops said that when they were?
Because them cops are crooked. Them 2 cops right there, they've been around. You know, when Compton had the regular Compton Police Department, like I said, they used to take drugs from us and keep it and go plant them on people that they didn't like so they can give them drug cases. So they knew everything about everything, because one thing you got to know, there always been informants, you know what I'm saying, since drugs been around. So right. I'm sure they were privy to a lot of things in all these hoods. You know what I mean?
Because people are trying to lower their cases.
Absolutely.
And everything else like
Absolutely.
That,
yeah. So they knew. Blondie know all of us by first name basis. One thing, nobody want to take losses. It's like if somebody beats you out of your money, it's like if you do a deal with somebody or you loan somebody some money or whatever, and they beat you out of your money and try not to pay you, then the first thing you're going to do is try to get your money back by any means necessary. And if you can't get it back, then you're going to try to hurt the person. So the way LA works is that if you my homie and something happens to you and somebody try to harm you, then we going to harm them. That's just the mentality here. You know what I mean? It's just the way we grew up. And that's probably why it's fucked up right now. I'm sure that's why the streets is, you know, as bad as it is now, but that's how people think. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't finna let nobody harm you, and you just accept it. You know what I mean?
That's the mentality in the world that.
Yeah. I mean, the governments do it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Look what Bush did with Saddam.
Saddam, yeah.
Right.
Saddam ain't around no more.
Right.
Right. Because he pissed off his dad at one point.
Pissed off his dad, and he was like, I got you, Dad.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of this for you.
Yeah, that's a cold situation, man, because a lot of innocent people died in the way, but what can you do?
What can you do?